It's time to go over the books that I read in April. I've been saying this every month, but April was not a good month. I guess I enjoyed most of the books I read. It's just I wasn't enjoying reading in general. The first book that I read this month was Maman. It is a graphic novel. This one I thoroughly enjoyed. This was a 4 stars. I need more. Truthfully, honestly, I need more. It was about this land that has like a lot of curses on it right now because the witch that used to be the witch residing over the land died and left behind a lot of not good curses. And so the witch's granddaughter comes back to the city and is recruited basically by the main character to help her to fix the city and fix what's going on with the rogue magic. It is a very sweet and endearing story. There's romance, there's angst, good backstory on the characters, and I just need more, honestly. I could use 10 more books and I'd be fine. I want to know their journey after. I need to know more backstory of Orla. Like, I just want more, simply put. So yeah, good 4 stars. Very fast-paced graphic novel. Love it. The next book I read was also a graphic novel, and it was Squire. I gave this book a 3 stars. Still good, but I just feel like a lot of times the story wasn't fully fleshed out. A lot of points within the book, it felt like I was just skipping pages because I was like, how did we get from here to here? And I feel that a lot with a lot of graphic novels, but especially this one. It just like, there was multiple times I'm like, y'all were fighting 2 seconds ago. How are you besties again? I don't get it. So this is about a country that is in war, and it is colonizing a bunch of people, and to convince these people to get citizenship, they tell them, oh, you can become a squire, and that's like the fastest and easiest way to citizenship, and then we'll give you housing and food and stuff. And it's a good way for these people who don't have much anymore because they just recently were colonized. It's a good way for them to have a better life. So the main character, who is in Onru, which is a very disliked group of people, joins it to become a squire, and eventually will become a knight, which is the highest ranking of the warriors, I guess you could say. So yeah, she joins, and she starts to learn that there is a lot of bad shit with this government, and starts to not trust these people that she used to put a lot of her trust in. The ending also, I just didn't really, it came out of nowhere for one, and it felt very open-ended, and I was just like, wait, that's the end? Like, I feel like there could have been so much more given to this book than there was, especially with how big it is. I just felt like there wasn't much of a substance, and it just felt a little too fast-paced sometimes, and again, happens with a lot of graphic novels, but I just really felt it in this one. The next book I read was Days at the Morisaki Bookshop. This book was a 2 stars. I really did not enjoy this book. I am very upset about it personally because I was so excited to read this. I even went to Jimbocho to read this because I was just so excited. I wanted to be put into the world where this bookshop is located. It's not real in real life, but the book street is real in real life. So it was very fun to go, very fun to feel the vibes, and then I was so excited to read this book. It fell so flat for me. So this book is about Takako, who recently went through like a really bad breakup and had nowhere to go because she quit her job. She couldn't pay for her home anymore, and she didn't really want to go back home, so she wasn't sure what to do. Luckily, her uncle was like, hey, why don't you come live above the bookstore, and then you can work there part-time, you know, room and board. And so that's what she does. Through the magic of the bookstore and the books and the people surrounding her, she really starts to learn a new way of life and really starts to be herself. So it's very much like a coming of age story, obviously when she's an adult though, but still it's a very like coming into yourself, figuring out who you are through books. My complaint: I really thought this book would be centered around her being in the bookshop and her having fun. It is halfway. Once you get halfway, it's centered around a completely different character. Still in the point of view of Takako. It's now more about her uncle's wife and what's happened with her and why she left her uncle and stuff and like their life. And I liked that story, don't get me wrong. I just feel like I would have liked it better in its own book. If you marketed a story to me about her uncle's wife, I would have seen it. I would have been like, that sounds interesting. I'm gonna read it. And it could have been a whole book just about her. Would have been very invested, very interested. When I was supposed to be interested in Takako and we're barely getting anything about her, like I felt so disconnected from her. Did not know a single thing about her, honestly. She was just a blank slate to me, and she was just there basically the whole time. She was just there. I don't know if it was the translating or the writing, but everything felt so bland, so cut and dry. It felt like they were explaining the story to me instead of telling the story to me. I felt no investment in it at all. Yeah, the writing is just really simple. The characters, no personality. It just I felt such a disconnect from it, and I was very, very deeply saddened because I wanted to enjoy this book so much. And I usually really love Japanese fiction because I just always feel like it's so in-depth and it makes me feel things. Like it makes me question life and who I am. This one surely did not. And the last book I read was When We Lost Our Heads. This book I gave a 4 stars. This was one of my favorite books of the month. It did take me a while to read it. It took me from the beginning of the month, and then I stopped reading it for like 10 days because I had other priorities apparently. And then I went back to reading it. And it's just, I don't even know how to explain this book at all to you. It is just, it's about these 2 girls who feel like they're so different from everybody else, but they find connection within each other. It becomes such an obsessive kind of love that it like ruins everyone else's life basically around them, and even starts ruining their own lives. And stuff just starts to really develop and happen that's just not good, so they have to be separated. And I do feel like the quotes on the back just really sum up what this book is about, so I'm gonna tell you. It says, this novel has everything. Opulence, whimsy, sugar barons, brothels, factories, revolution, and an intense friendship that forces both participants to straddle darkness and light. And then also it says here, it says, When We Lost Our Head explores gender, sex, desire, class, and the terrifying power of the human heart when it can't let someone go. Perfect synopsis is, that's exactly what this book is about. Every character in this is terrible except for George. George has my whole heart. I would never do anything bad to them. I just want them forever to be happy and safe and sound. I highly recommend, honestly, to read this book if you like books that more explore characters rather than plot, because it's very heavily character driven, not very plot heavy. I don't even know what the plot is, to be honest. And that is all the books that I read this month. Didn't read much, but that's okay. Sometimes my brain just needs a break. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and comment down below your favorite book of the month, and I hope to see you again.